Alright, so in this video, we will actually see how we can use if function. So previously we have already seen one, but in this video, we will see again how we can use if function. So let's get started. So here, what we are trying to do is basically here we have a column name in the customer lookup table called total children. So what we can do from this is, so if the total children is greater than 0, we can say that the parental status is 1. That means they are a parent, and if the total children is 0, then they are not a parent. So this is what we will create. So for that, we will go to new column again, and here let's make the column as parent, and then we will write if the total children column, so I will write total children is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, then they are parent. So I will write yes, parent yes. And otherwise, you see, it is asking for the result. If false, it would be no. So if this result is true, if these values are greater than 0, then it will show yes. And if this logic is false, then it will show no. So this is how this if function works. I will hit enter, and you see, if the total children, if I select 0 here you will see the parent is basically no. And if I select everything other than 0, you will see the parent is yes now. Okay, let me make it parent. I think there is a typo. Okay, it's done. So this is how we can use the if function. Now we will use another function, that is if, and within if we will use or function. Okay, so how we will do it? So for that we will go to calendar lookup table. So in calendar lookup table, what we will do is we will show if the weekday is 6 or 7, that means it is a weekend, and if it is not, then it is basically weekday. So how we can do that? We will create a new column. You see, there are two logical tests here. One is it should be 6 or it should be 7 as well. So there are two conditions in this case. So that's why we need an or function. So here I will just write it weekday status, something like that. And then what I will do is if. I will first write if weekday, I will just write weekday, if the weekday is equal to 6. Now here you can see in the if function you can only use one logical test, so we need to use actually two logical tests. So for that we will use or function here. So I will just write or, I will hit tab, and then now here in the or function you see I can use two logics. So here we have two logics, so we need to use two logic. In the or function, what we will write, if it is 6, then I will copy this one, I will paste it here. If it is equal to 7, I will close the bracket of or, and then I will hit a comma, and then it is asking for the what if this result is true, what it should do, what the if function should do. I will say it should write weekend, and if it is not, if the result is false, then it should write weekday. I will close the bracket and then I will hit enter. Let's see what happens. So you see we have the weekday. So this day 1, it is basically a weekday. So how we can test that? Actually we can, instead of this day number, we can actually create something called day name as well, whether it is Sunday, Monday, or whatever. So let me show you how we can create that as well, so that you can validate this column whether it is right or wrong. So now what I will do is I will create another column called day name. Day name, and here I will use one function called format. You can use this function as well. So in format function, what it is showing, it is not showing the parameters, but the first parameter is value. So first, what is my value? My value is date. So from date I want to fetch the day name. So what I will do, I will write down calendar lookup, and then I will put date, I will hit comma. So if I hit comma, you see the first parameter was value, and then it is asking for the format. Now I will give a format. What format? In what format I want the data? I want the data in DDDD format. So D, if you write 4D here, that basically means a day name. Now I will just close this, and I will close the bracket as well, and then I will hit enter. You see the day name is provided, and if here I select Saturday and Sunday, you see it is showing weekend. And if I select everything other than Saturday and Sunday, then you see it is a weekday. So this is how it works. So now you know how to use OR function. Now actually there is another way to use OR. Instead of writing this function, you can do another thing. Let me quickly show you that as well. So you see, if I click here, this bracket is closing here. It is highlighted. If you can see it, let me just zoom it a little bit. Can you see it? So here we have this two brackets highlighted. So what I will do from here, I will remove the OR. I don't need the OR. I will do something else instead of OR, and I will remove this one. Now you see this is showing an error. It is not possible. There is an underlying marks. That means it is not possible. This is how you cannot write, because the first part of if is a logical test. So now you are actually using two logical tests in one if function. That is not possible. What I will do, I will remove this comma as well, and instead of or, I will just write this. So if you write two bar, that basically means or only. So what I will do now, I will just click on this, or you can click on enter as well, and see it does the same job. So instead of or, you can actually use this one. So that's it for this video. See you in the next lecture.